Hey, pilot, welcome back to Ready for Pushback. I'm Nick Fialka, and today I'm passing the microphone. What am I talking about? Well, you're about to hear. I went down to the Professional Asian Pilots Association and set up my podcast equipment and recorded some interview coaching, live one-on-one interview coaching with my buddy Jason Batchelor and a listener to the show who is getting some tips and some tricks and some information from JB. This is a lot of fun. You're going to hear what it's like with live coaching with Spitfire. So things you're going to notice. There's background noise. The people are on the floor, a lot of talking, things like that. You've heard other episodes in the past from last year when I've done some recordings like that, and there's be some more coming out as well that are other interview episodes on the floor. But also, there's no video. We are it's tricky to try to bring my camera and set it all up and do all that stuff. So it's just audio, but it is on YouTube. So if you want to watch on YouTube, please feel free. It's very interesting. JB's just straight shooter, real concise. Fantastic feedback. So if you ever wanted to know what we do at Spitfire, what it's like to get coached, what it's like to get that live one-on-one feedback with somebody that's not going to cut you any slack and going to make you try to attain greatness, like this is it. JB's one of the best, and I really think you're going to love it. So sit back, relax, let's get ready for Pushback. It all started as a spark. Maybe it was the sound of jets racing across the sky. Or the feeling of your heart racing as you watch a crop duster flying low and slow. Even then, you knew you were meant to fly. For pilots, it's more than just a job. It's a calling. The early mornings, the long hours, the relentless training. You didn't do it for the money. You did it for that moment. That moment when the wheels lift off and the earth falls away beneath you. But flying is just the beginning. The journey to your dream job takes more than just skill in the sky. It takes strategy on the ground and a lifetime of learning.
Most pilots don't understand what career opportunities are available in the world of aviation. Learn how to go from good to great, from flight school to regional to major, and from hopeful to hired. Whether you're sharpening your skills, building your resume, or preparing for that big interview, this is where pilots come to level up. Let's get ready for Pushback.
All right, it's JB, and I'm here at day 2 of Papa in Las Vegas. I've got Kelly with us. Kelly, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you, JB?
I am good. My feet are tired. It's been a lot of standing. My voice is even a bit tired. It's been fantastic. So here we are at the very beginning of day 2 here in Las Vegas at Papa, and ran into you as I was collecting some footage, and you talked to me about some experiences, and there was a couple things that you said that I thought would be beneficial for others that are in similar shoes as you to hear, and so that's what I want to talk to you about today. Kelly, so you had an interesting experience here. A lot of times we'll get clients and non-clients asking about, hey, what's the timeline look at? And there's a massive spectrum with which this can happen, from the time that you submit an application to a company until the time that you get a meet and greet offer or an interview offer and a CJO offer. And that can vary widely. And you got a situation or a kind of a deal here where you're on one end of that spectrum. Tell us about your recent experience with how that went when you submitted this recent app till what news you just recently got.
Yeah, so there was a company I knew was going to be here at Papa. So I filled out my application this Sunday. And in the process of uploading my resume, I immediately received an email from the company asking to set up an HR interview right away. I hadn't even completed my application. So I made sure that quickly filled out all the application, completed everything, and then I set up a phone call for this morning, which is Wednesday, with the HR representative. I had that this morning, and I received an offer for an interview next month. So we're talking, today's Wednesday. I submitted my application on Sunday and already have an interview lined up. So the timeline
That's
to quick. Your question is quick.
Yeah, that's that is quite compressed. You've also recently interviewed with a carrier,
Yeah.
and I think it would be cool for you to talk a little bit about that experience, from client to client or client to potential client, rather than hearing it from a coach on, what we talk about and what we think people should expect. You can kind of tell us the actual experience, what you experienced. I think people may be interested in hearing that. So, if you wouldn't mind just giving us your kind of thoughts on the recent interview that you had.
Yeah, so because of the market right now, because of the industry, there with a previous carrier that I interviewed with, there must have been somebody drop out. So I gave myself only 8 days notice to interview with this carrier. And looking back, I wish I'd given myself some more time instead. And so I signed up for the PICs, signed up, had my mock interview, felt prepared, felt that Spitfire prepared me, and was ready to go crush that interview. However, it was not the jovial, conversational kind of bro-to-bro feedback that I had heard from others.
Yeah.
And so when I stepped into the interview, the interviewer was very stoic, no feedback. And the follow-up questions, though there were follow-up questions to my responses, kind of also had a negative tone to them as well. So then I found it very hard to kind of be excited and sell myself and show that I really want this job when the interviewer was just almost very robotic. So that was something that I internally struggled with during the interview.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think interesting, but not necessarily surprising to me.
Right.
You're not the first person to kind of give me feedback that this is kind of the reception that they got. I would say the norm would be that, it's usually very personable conversation with most interviewers. And, it's usually a positive, enjoyable experience is what we get from a lot of folks. But on occasion, and you can understand, sometimes these folks have multiple interviews. They've been on their feet all day or whatever. There's a lot going on, and you can understand that maybe they can't always be at their 100% best. Maybe you were at the tail end of the interview day with them. Who knows? Who knows what reason it could be. But I think you bring up something also that's really important, and that is preparing for a situation like that, right? You can go into an interview thinking, hey, I'm fully prepared for this. I know I'm 100% confident in my, my ability to present my best self in terms of the material. But really, when you kind of get that, you're reading the room and you're going, this is not the environment I expected. That really has the potential to throw you off, snowball, as we sometimes refer to it in the flying world, really snowball. And that could be the difference in obviously a successful interview and maybe not so much a successful interview. You've been in enough of my PICs where I kind of address this as I role play. And I'm unapologetic about it when I talk to clients and say, hey, I might poke you in the chest. I'm gonna really go off of what you give me.
Absolutely.
During your answer. And it may not be, something that you've given me. I'm just going to kind of play, bad cop, as it were.
Yes.
And poke you in the chest or interrupt you and see what that does to your ability to still present your best self without getting flustered, without getting upset. And I think that's an important part of the conversation that you bring up that we don't necessarily think about all the time when we're preparing for these interviews. So, Kelly, how many conferences have you been to now?
This is my second conference where I was looking for a job, but as a previous role, I've attended a lot of conferences with industry. That was part of my job in my career. Whether it was union conferences like ALPA, for example, where other carriers were there. I've also inspected our commercial carriers, so I'm familiar with both Part 121 and Part 135 carriers, and I'm used to the one asking questions, because I was an auditor. I was looking at their safety programs, their internal audit programs, and I try to create a more open and inviting atmosphere. So just being on the other end of that, though, being the one interviewed, I think just the perspective changed for me. And to your point about the role playing,
Yeah.
I think for what you were mentioning, JB, is people need to see different personalities, different aspects, as you said, because I think people need to know how they're going to react,
Right.
so that you're not caught off guard in an interview. Like if they
Right.
know, or if they know that they're going to be respond in a certain way, the best way to do that is the PICs and showing different personalities as an interviewer.
Yeah, I think of it as you're saying that. I think of the time when you're coming down final and you're approaching 100 feet or something, and for whatever reason, go around
Right.
that
Right.
startle event sometimes,
Exactly.
and you go, hey, how come that didn't totally come naturally, flowing
Right.
through the procedure, because that little bit of stress in that
Yes.
split second
Correct.
sometimes alters our ability to be at our very best.
Yeah.
And when you're in an interview or a meet and greet for a potential multi-million-dollar job, that's not
Right.
the time that
Nope.
you want to be figuring out how to deal with that a little
Right.
bit of stress. So Kelly, it's been a pleasure. I'm glad you stopped me in the hallway today.
Absolutely.
It's been a pleasure talking with you today, and we thank you very much for giving our listeners something to kind of chew on a little bit with respect to the actual interview experience from a client, from a fellow candidate for these companies. So, Kelly, it's been a pleasure, and wishing you nothing but the best.
Thank you. I appreciate your time.
All right, it's JB, and I'm meeting here with Matt. We're at the PAPA conference, and I got to know Matt today when he stopped by our booth and had a resume review, and we did some chatting about him and also our services here at Spitfire Elite. Matt, welcome. How you doing?
Hey, great, JB. Thanks for having me.
Anytime. We're happy to have you here. Matt, you and I got to know each other a little bit, did some looking at your resume, and learned that you've served our country for 24 years, right?
You got
that right? F-15Es, Strike Eagle pilot, and now flying Vipers currently. Talk to us, Matt, for folks that might be following in your footsteps as they make that transition, ending a military career and stepping into the 121 world in aviation. What are some of the challenges that you've kind of seen and you've had to learn to overcome, and is there things that you would have done differently? What would you tell the folks that are following in your footsteps?
Yeah, great question, JP. I'm just thinking back, boy, I wish I would have started a year ago, and I'm still over a year out from transitioning. So I just wish I would have started a year ago. There's a lot of uncertainty that we all go through, not just feeling like, oh, am I leaving behind the service that we're in, the Air Force in my case? Am I leaving them behind or my unit behind? But you really got to transition and start that about 2 years out. And then the second thing is it is hard. And so getting the right people on the team. So we've done that by talking with each other in the unit. But here, I appreciate the time that we've shared already, and the raw resume review that you did with me was really helpful to help get me back on track as I'm looking at transition next year.
Yeah, fantastic. Your first conference, right? And here
Yeah.
we are at PAPA in Las Vegas,
Yep.
right? What was your initial reaction as you came to the floor today?
Wow. I mean, there's got to be thousands of people here,
Yeah.
all dressed sharp, looking sharp. The first thing was is intimidation.
Sure.
Even as a 24 years fighter amigo. But then when I got in and started chatting to people, not just the other people in suits looking for potential JOBs, but also the folks behind the booths, I realized that we all have a ton in common. And so it went from initial, holy cow, to, hey, we're all in this together. And I just felt a lot of camaraderie, and not the same pathway that we've all been on, but we're still all in the same place. We just got here a different way. And so I'm actually really thrilled. I really enjoyed meeting with people, hanging out before sessions have started, or even waiting in line to do stuff like this.
Yeah, fantastic. Hey, going back to the first thing I talked about, 24 years military service. You're in 06, a colonel right now in the United States Air Force. And you having done a military career myself, I know that, tons of different types of training. You go to schools, you go to training, it seems like all the time. But the flavor of the training and kind of the art of what you learn in the military and the art here in the 121 world as you're preparing to open this next chapter is a little bit different. Shed a little bit more light, if you don't mind, on some of those things that you kind of had as an eye-opening experience on, holy cow, thought I was thinking about this, but man, reality is I'm not quite where I need to be yet.
So going through the military in my civilian time prior to that, you really do follow a sharp syllabus, step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's what I'm used to. Coming here, it really opened my eyes to I've really got to go out. I got to grab the different sources of information, and then I got to bring them in, and then I'm responsible for wringing out those sponges so that they fit me, not just for the place I want to apply, but also then what I want to do with that information, from the resumes to how I do the application to how I do the interview prep. So it's obviously a lot more on me. Previously, it was just the learning that was on me, and I was in the program. But now I've got to go out and put together my own program. So that's what I'm trying to do right now, put together that program to get hired.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, Matt, we appreciate you stopping by Spitfire Elite today and getting to know you just a little bit. It's been an absolute pleasure. And, of course, we wish you nothing but the best of luck here. And hope to see you maybe in the future at the future conference. And, again, thanks for your time. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, JB, for having me.
All right. This is JB with Spitfire Elite, and here at the table, I have my friend Pono. We are here at the Papa convention here, and Pono is spending a little bit of time with us here at the Spitfire Elite booth. Pono, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Very good. What do you think so far? Is this first conference for you, or are you a veteran at this game?
I'm new to this whole thing. First off, you guys leave an impression. You guys have that great energy all across the board, and that's why I'm here.
All right, fantastic. Did you just sit in at our little brief that we gave a
Yes,
little
I
while
did.
ago? All right, fantastic. Well, first of all, Pono, we appreciate you being here. What are your initial thoughts as a first-timer here to the conference here at Papa in Las Vegas? What are your initial thoughts when you come in and here you are amongst thousands of people all vying for, essentially the same kind of job? What are your initial thoughts?
Honestly, it's incredible. I came here yesterday. I was like the only guy in a suit and tie, so I was a bit nervous. But I come here, everyone's on the same mindset, looking for a job or helping others trying to get a job. And yeah, it's just a great community. It's my first time seeing everyone with like-minded. Yeah, it's just no complaints. It's awesome.
Yeah, I know a lot of folks. Sometimes I was talking to a few folks last night, and they were already getting the impression that it's like a hurricane force wind here. There's long lines. Everybody's vying to get in front, and you're clamoring to try and get a meet and greet or get some FaceTime with various companies. And I think one comment that I've received is they appreciate Spitfire being kind of that little comfort zone for them, that safe space that they can come to where they can talk with a coach, get a last minute tune-up before they go in for a meet and greet or an interview. Or just kind of hang out and decompress a little bit. So, we appreciate clients coming by and doing that. And so, again, we thank you. I know you're not a client, but we appreciate you stopping by and looking for some of our services. What I'd like to do right now, Pono, is if you and I were sitting in one of our PICs, our Precision Interview Coaching Seminars. I'm a coach, and what we do is we have 8 folks sitting in what we affectionately call a hot seat with various folks also listening. We do this online via Zoom. But today, you and I have the ability to do this face-to-face, which is kind of cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to simulate that you and I are in a meet and greet right now.
Okay.
Pick a company. What company? It doesn't matter. I don't care if they're your number 1, number 4. It doesn't matter. You don't have to tell me that, but just pick a company that we're...
Southwest.
Okay, so Southwest. You and I are in a Southwest meet and greet, let's say.
Okay.
And I happen to be a captain with Southwest for 13 years. And what's your background? This is not part of our simulation, but what's your background? Civilian, military background? What do you got?
Civilian.
Okay, civilian background. And who are you working with right now?
Currently unemployed.
Okay.
Trying to get that one foot in the door.
Okay, very good. All right, Pono, let's go ahead and we'll simulate as if you just walked in. We just shook hands and I just introduced myself to you.
Okay.
Pono, we appreciate you being here with Southwest today at Papa at the meet and greet. Pono, first thing we'd like to ask you, as you're well aware, there's a bunch of folks standing around doing the same thing, having their meet and greets. A lot of folks outside the doors. What do you think? What makes you stand out, and why should we give you an interview above everybody else out here in the room today?
I mean, that's a really good question. At the end of the day, everyone deserves an opportunity, and I have to acknowledge that. I'm the fortunate one here, being able to have this opportunity. Southwest, I was raised knowing how they operate. My dad and brother have been pilots there for many years, and my twin actually is a flight attendant there. They live their life the same inside and outside the company, and it kind of adapts within our family. We're genuine. There's no need for two faces or masks. You are who you are, and with me as part of a team, you're just going to get an absolute team member and somebody's genuine.
All right, cool. So yeah, very good, man. So appreciate that answer. So here's what we would do afterwards. We would give you a critique on the things that you did well. Let me tell you what you did well. First of all, you were looking at me in the eye. That's good eye contact. Your posture is good. Sometimes you're sitting down at some of these meet and greets, and sometimes just like we are today, you're standing up. And so your posture was good eye contact with me, weren't bouncing around, didn't show any signs of nerves through your posture.
I fooled you then.
Yeah, well, maybe so, but that's, good on you then.
Thank you.
I would totally expect that you'd be nervous, but you didn't show signs of it through your posture or anything like that. Talk to us a little bit, kind of about why you feel like you're a good fit, why you deserve that interview. And what I heard mostly was it's kind of Southwest is kind of in your blood, right? You've got family, close family doing this thing already for the company, working for the company, and so you kind of from a young age have kind of been brought up. And again, I think the best way I can describe that is you have Southwest in your blood, and I attribute that to hey, I kind of understand the culture. I've safe to say you've probably flown on Southwest a gazillion times in your life. You know it, you've heard the stories, and you understand what it means to see a red heart on a Southwest plane, on a purple fuselage jet. A couple of things maybe that you might want to think about, right, as you are answering this type of question is this is a question where you have to be able to prove, hey, what sets me apart? And you did some of that. But the other thing that I didn't hear a whole lot of, you're trying to get on to be a first officer with a company like Southwest. I want to hear that you've got a history of safe flying. Maybe you can show that, talk to that some. I want to know a little bit about the fact that, hey, are you going to generally be a good person that people are going to enjoy flying with? How can we prove that? And I don't know. Have you gone around and met a bunch of people today at Papa already? People you didn't know?
Yeah, so far.
Yeah, absolutely. So talk to them about that. Okay. You could say, hey, I've had an opportunity to go around and meet a lot of these folks. And I'll tell you what, not having known them too terribly long, but I'll tell you what, I think they sound like good folks. And assuming they've got a good, strong track record of flying airplanes, seems to me like they'd be a great fit for your company. And what did we just do there, right? We showed that we're personable, just like you seem to be. Mm-hmm. You've gone around shaking hands with people. We've shown we're not afraid to approach people. That's a good sign for someone that's looking to hire a future captain into the airline, someone that gets along with people, works well with people, and is generally enjoyable to be around, right? So if you and I are going on a 3 or 4 day trip together with Southwest Airlines, I want to know that, hey, you're going to be somebody that I not only can work with professionally, but get along with as well and can enjoy my time. And I think that by doing that, we're going to be able to provide our best possible service to our customers. So that's some of the feedback that we would give you, talk about some of the strengths, things you did well, maybe help you out with a couple other things to think about. We don't claim to have the answers here at Spitfire Elite, but what we do is we help bring you to the art of kind of getting into this industry and figuring out how do I present my best self. And so that's an idea of something that we talk about, man. Any questions for me before we part ways today?
No, those are great points, and I really do appreciate the time that you've given today.
All right, man. It's been a pleasure getting to know you, and I know you're waiting in line for a resume review, so we'll find your spot back in line, man. Thanks a lot, Pono. We appreciate the help.
Thank you.
All right, pilots, that's a wrap on this episode, and I know what you're thinking. You need to make yourself a little bit better. So how do you make yourself a little bit better? You tighten up your resume. So here's what I want you to do. Go over to my website, spitfireelite.com/podcast, and you can download my free resume template. It is tight, organized, and it's the perfect pilot resume. It's just something I like to do for the pilot group, and it is free to you. So go over there, spitfireelite.com/podcast, and download your free resume template. While you're over there, look at all the services that we offer. Lots of great interview prep, lots of great application review. Everything you need to be a professional pilot is right there. spitfireelite.com/podcast. Thanks, and I'll see you on the next episode.